Hey everyone, welcome to episode 41 of the Cologne podcast, a podcast that includes two idiots from East Texas giving their opinion on the world of fragrances. I'm Myke.
I'm Ryan.
Today we are tackling Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille.
Ooh.
It's a little warm for this one because this one is everything I think about towards the end of the year.
Okay. You smoke?
Yeah. Think about tobacco. I think about vanilles. You already know. Here's what Rutney and Cartley has to say about Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille.
Oh, man.
The basic scent is very pleasant in itself, but as a personal perfume, this feels as suitable as a 6-pound chocolate cake on Monday for breakfast.
Wow, that is really... I don't know what to think about that.
I guess they think it's heavy and sweet.
Okay, we'll see.
I think I know where they're headed with that, and once we kind of get into it, maybe we can describe it more. Yeah. But first...
let's get into our one-night stand review of Guerlain's Habit Rouge.
Yeah. One-night stand review. Thanks, Todd. All right, tell me what you think, Rinaldo.
Well, it was definitely a polarizing scent between the two of us.
Yeah.
And honest to goodness, we smell each other's skin.
Okay, I mean, we're not nose to skin. It is weird. But it's not weird to us.
Yeah.
We're only close. To the people that are nearby in Target whenever we're doing it.
But, smelling it on your skin, it smelled similar to my cardstock. Yeah. And you were saying that it smelled softer on me, which goes to show you two things. Either noses are picking up different scents, or skin oils are different, or maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah. I mean, it's a mixture of a million things, but definitely different. And we've seen this a time or two with different fragrances that we've been sampling. But on this one, to me, on my skin, as it dried down, it was like a sweet citrus. There's still that powderiness there, but it was more sweet, more citrus, and it still had a little more funk on it. I guess that animalic or whatever they call it had some funk to it. Yeah. And I kept saying it reminds me of Ani a little bit by Nichane. Yeah. I mean, I still prefer Ani over this fragrance because if I'm going to have to wait 2 hours for this thing to calm down to be something that I like, that's too long, man. That's too long for a fragrance.
For me, and I failed the podcast again, I didn't bring vetiver. But I'm going to bring vetiver in the future. I think
Why?
I think we'll just make it its own episode. I think that'd be the
best
thing.
Should, yeah.
But when I'm smelling it, man, it smells very close to that. They're obviously different, but I'm like, man, for $45, you can get something that smells similar to that. Even though that's really not a fragrance I would like jump overjoyed to wear.
Yeah.
The more I'm kind of thinking about it, I think it does kind of lean more towards a older.
Yeah, more mature
person.
For me, I couldn't vibe it. On the cardstock / what it would be on your clothing was very baby wipes, very baby shampoo, super powdery. On the skin, it was nice, especially towards the end. And there was something about it that made me want to keep smelling it, but it's a lot to wait around for.
I think it's going to be an acquired taste thing. I really do.
There are going to be some people listening that think we're absolute idiots. A lot of people probably. But some people for that reason of going, man, I don't see what these guys are thinking. Yeah. This smells incredible.
I like it. I'm going to give it another shot because, man, I didn't really care for vetiver the first time I smelled it. And then remember I called you. I was like, I get it now. After kind of wearing it a little bit, like really wearing it. And
it takes some time. I was the same way. There are a few fragrances that after a while you wear it. Aventus, for example. Yeah. I've been wearing it a little more here lately because
I talk about it religiously now.
Yeah, well, I just got a 15 ml decant of it, so I've been wearing it. Yeah. I've actually been wearing it to bed each night.
Interesting.
And I'll tell you why. Because I hate the dry down.
Okay.
Because it gets way too smoky. But if I smell it for the first 30, 40 minutes before I fall asleep, it's great. That's one that I'm like getting more of the acquired taste of, So I can understand where if some people, this is what they've been kind of acclimated to, it makes sense that they could smell it and go, man, I smell masculine. I smell, they'd love it. But for me, like I said, it took a little too long. And what people were saying online, hey, give it till the dry down. And we did. Yeah. And it was there and it was nice. But that's a lot to ask for. out of a fragrance.
How dare them make me wait a couple of hours and this scent still lasts a while?
No, well, it's not so much that. It's that there are other fragrances that do take journeys.
Yeah.
And when you spray them, you enjoy the whole journey.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like a tattoo where it's like you got to sit through hell for a couple hours and then you're happy at the end of it, you know?
Hachavat seems to be one of the best ones at that for me.
Yes.
It has such a clear, unique opening. It's a little similar to Ventus, but then it goes this weird, earthy journey. And I really do enjoy that one.
Yeah, there's a few. I mean, there's a few we really like. And so I will say, for some people, they're going to get this and they're going to go, I love that opening baby shampoo vibe. Right into that stinky, sweet lemon vibe, you know. And for them, great. I'm happy for them. For me, this is not a buy for me.
It's definitely a sample. And it's so cheap, though, if you liked it enough. $45 for 100 ml is pretty good.
That's an easy purchase if you've sampled it and you do like it.
Yeah, I would definitely strongly recommend sampling it first as well.
100%. You've got to on this one. Not a huge fan of it. I get the appeal.
Well, there you go. Well, guys, if there's anything you agree or strongly disagree with Myke on this, be sure to let him know at thecolonepodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, write me. Unless it's after a certain amount of time, Texas time, and I'm sleeping, then Ryan's going to pick up.
Yeah, I'm the guy in the middle of the night creeping around corners.
He's normally creeping around video game forums.
Lord. All right, there you go. There's our one night stay review of Guerlain's Habit Rouge. And now it's time to get into the scent of the day, which we're bringing to you because...
Yeah, because our friend Robbie from Australia hit us up.
That's right, Robbie. I told you we were going to do it. I put my word out there, and my word usually doesn't mean dick, but today it means something.
When it's coming from a dick, it usually doesn't mean dick, right? But... some people like you.
I don't know. It's so weird they do. I don't know why they do, but they do.
You know, Ryan, I read your emails.
To Robbie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, why is he being so nice to this listener? I was like, what? He treats me like shit all the time. Maybe he's saving up his sweet demeanor. Maybe he's nicer at 2 a.m. Texas time.
Oh, yeah.
But so he responded to the emails. Then he messaged me and said, oh, just wait. You're going to love this, because he knows how big of a fanatic I am for Tom Ford.
Oh, yeah.
And what I kind of responded to Robbie and saying was, Tom Ford, and it may be like this for a lot of people, because their fragrances that they put out in the private blend are a nice bridge between designer and niche.
I agree with that.
It makes it easy to transition into really loving fragrances, because they put stuff out there. One thing I really like with their private blend stuff, they pick one note that they really want to highlight, and then they build the fragrance around that.
That's pretty cool.
So when you smell Tobacco Vanille or Rose Prick or Bitter Peach or Lost Cherry, there's the clear single note Neroli Portofino. We've got that one coming up.
Yeah.
You smell that one note, that's the star.
Yeah.
You know? And then the rest are just little cameos and extras in the background that make up the story.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think, our first one was always kind of ombre leather.
Yeah.
It's honestly, to me, to date, I think it's still the best leather I've smelled, personally.
Drop us a line, thecolonepodcast@gmail.com. I believe our friend John hit us up and told us about some leather fragrances that we do have coming in.
Yes.
But let us know if there's other leather fragrances that you like out there. Now, we've got some other ones as well that we haven't mentioned yet that are coming up, but they're not strong leather. I'd almost say, I kept saying, man, I'm getting more tobacco than leather out of those. So we've got some of those coming up. But as far as leather fragrances go, the king for me is ombre leather, and not because it's the most leather, because Tuscan leather is very leather, but it is so balanced and so enjoyable that I feel like a greater majority of people can appreciate ombre leather that they might get turned off by, say, like Tuscan leather.
Yeah. And by the way, what episode did we do ombre leather on? If anybody wants to venture back into our seated past.
Episode 8 is Ombre Leather by Tom Ford. So if you're just dying to know how we felt about ombre leather all those many moons ago,
check it out.
Check it out. Episode 8. All right.
With that being said, I'm going to crack one here. And that is our LaCroix today. Again, we're hitting up the Pamplemousse.
Yeah.
Not sponsored. Shasta, if you're listening, I'm going to keep reaching out to you. We'd love a sponsorship. I'd love to have that little mini fridge stocked.
Hey, just do that so that our listeners don't have to keep hearing Ryan shill out for probably a drink that they don't even care for. Yeah. They're like, we really like these guys till we heard how pretentious they were drinking LaCroix.
Do you mind if I hit this up first? Okay.
Go for it. I'm also drinking Pamplemousse.
So if you want to give me something too.
Yeah. I like you too, Shasta.
There you go.
Ryan's over here sissy spraying it.
Yeah, I'm sissy spraying today. Shout out to Curly Fragrance. I will have to say, out of all the YouTube reviewers, they're all...
You're the one he's most attracted to.
No, she's just hilarious. I like her comedy. Her comedy is right up my alley. So if you haven't ever watched her, go check it out.
I'm sure she needs your recommendation, Ryan.
She doesn't. She could give a rat's ass.
I'm curious to see what you think, because I've worn this many a night.
I am very indifferent to this one. I know this is Mike's jam because he has drenched himself in this.
Oh, many times.
It's definitely tobacco-y. I don't hate it, but it's not something I genuinely vibe with. It's definitely like tobacco. And I'm trying to figure there's a little spice there.
Yeah.
But what's weird about the spice in this, and maybe I'm describing this completely off-kiltered here.
Go for it.
Whenever you think of any spices you're smelling in any fragrance, it almost feels like it's on the top. But for some reason, this spice, it feels like if you had a layer of tobacco you were digging through and it's like under that.
Yeah.
That's how I perceive it in my brain.
Yeah. Let me tell you why I love this fragrance. One, that stingy burn that you get really reminds me of tobacco.
Yeah.
I've smoked maybe 3 cigars in my life.
Yeah.
I've maybe smoked 3 puffs off a cigarette when I was like 8 years old trying to be cool or something, found one at a cigarette butt at a park,
Yeah.
I'm not a tobacco guy.
And you've smoked at least one car exhaust after watching a CKY episode back in the
day. Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
When will I get a new co-host? I don't know. Guys, we're taking applications.
Yeah.
But I love the stinginess off the tobacco. Anytime that I think about it, I honestly think about chewing tobacco and the burn off the chewing tobacco. Yeah. We've talked about it. I forget what episode it was. Actually, I think it was the Fragrance Philosophy episode. And I was talking about Noir de Noir.
Yeah.
And the tobacco and my kind of experience as a kid with it. But anyways, chewing that little strip of chewing tobacco when I was younger and feeling that burn, when I smell this, it reminds me of that.
So in a sense, are you kind of describing it like this in your head, or am I kind of picking it up this way? When you're telling me that, I'm thinking like I am getting more of you open up a can of snuff or something.
Yeah.
It's like
it kind of stings.
It's kind of damp though, right?
Yeah.
It's like a damp tobacco type.
Sure, yeah. This is sweet. It's rich. It's not a dry tobacco.
It's funny now that I'm kind of getting that vibe. I'm more understanding of this scent, and it's kind of, since it makes more sense,
right?
It's a little bit more enjoyable now.
Well, another thing about this too is don't think about it for a fragrance right now where it's hot as dicks outside.
True.
Think about it. You put this thing on and you're going to be the best smelling one at family Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. This is that type of fragrance. It's that fall winter fragrance that you smell amazing and people are primed and ready to smell it. Everyone's getting their pumpkin spice lattes at Starbucks and then they walk over and they smell Ryan and he smells incredible.
And they're wondering why.
Why on God's earth does Ryan smell so good? It's because he borrowed Mike's Tobacco Vanille.
Yeah. It's drying down to something more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Now that I kind of know where the smell is coming from, that's so weird about scents. Like, I can smell it, and at first I'm like, I'm not really vibing it. Now that I'm a little bit more educated about what you're saying and how you kind of pick it up, it makes more sense to me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get that vibe. And now I'm like picking up why it's enjoyable to other people.
As far as fragrances go, this is probably the fragrance that I have obsessed about the most.
For sure.
Because not only do I have a decan of this, I also have probably every Tobacco Vanille clone ever made.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'll never be able to afford, a full bottle of Tobacco Vanille. And the first clone I ever bought was a Tobacco Vanille clone. cologne.
Yeah.
I went through quite a few ones. And by that time, I was like, God, I could have probably just bought Tobacco Vanille.
Yeah.
But then whenever I got this in, I was like, oh, because I'd only tried the colognes first. And I was like, oh, I see what they're going for, but they never hit it. There's a lot of depth to this that happens on down the road on this fragrance that the colognes just kind of fall flat on.
Gotcha. It's so different. And one thing I wanted to point out this episode is I wanted to see what celebrities wear this.
Oh, yeah.
I thought of it all by myself.
I love the idea, Ryan. Let's roll with it.
Myke messaged me last night. So it would be great for the podcast. What if we looked at what celebrities?
Yeah, just curious. As we're smelling it, this would be like if we went to a diner and Alec Baldwin was sitting down with this nice steak meal and we walk by and we go, oh, this is what Alec Baldwin smells like.
Yeah. Well, this one is really, and first of all, is this unisex? It is, right?
Yes. I mean, pretty much any Tom Ford fragrance is going to be unisex.
Okay. Well, according to the celebrityfragranceguide.com, two people for sure that they known to have been wearing this is, and I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right, Ellie Goulding,
okay,
the singer, and Vanessa Hudgens. This scent would fit her. Like, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, kind of interesting to know this is what she's rocking, what she's walking around in.
Yeah. Probably not right now. But I guarantee you, those cool nights in LA, she's probably got this on.
Well, I think about that. Majority that I've seen have been women wearing it. No offense.
I don't care.
But I want to say, so, and I need to get it on the show. I've mentioned it before, but my wife has a Guerlain fragrance.
Yeah.
And the more I smell this, a little bit of that, it's not 1-to-1, but there's like this tobacco thing that's going with both these. And I'm like, man, they smell pretty similar. That one's definitely more feminine. Like where this one, I can see where both men and women could wear this.
Sure.
Just interesting. I like it. I don't think I can pull it off. So who do you think is wearing this? Besides Vanessa Hudgens.
Or Ellie Goulding.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, he's an older gentleman. He's got
a roll of quarters?
No. He's got lengthier facial hair.
Okay.
Maybe he's older. He's more mature. Okay. Loves to wear red. Has a sleigh and lots of toys that he delivers to good girls and boys. I mean, this just smells like Christmas to me, man.
I can get that vibe, really.
I'm talking about the Holly Jolly Kris Kringle, by the way.
I thought you were talking about a Krampus or something.
No, he's probably wearing like Scandal.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, I smell this. It reminds me of the holidays. It reminds me of fall.
Yeah. This is 100% fall weather.
I feel like if you were a female, you could definitely get away with this on cool nights.
Yeah.
Maybe even in the summer.
Yeah.
And if you're living somewhere, which I've spent a little bit of time out in LA, if you're in that area where you have like warm days, but then cool nights.
Yeah.
I mean, when we would go there for conventions, we would almost freeze to death at night. But during the day, it was super warm. It's like short sleeve weather. And then you'd need jackets for the evening. So I feel like you live somewhere out there and you have that kind of thing going on, then you can definitely pull this off more of the year than, say, here in Texas when it's like 95 at night because it's been 114 during the day, you know?
Yeah.
For me, it just reminds me of cool weather, holidays, when you're eating way too much pumpkin pie.
We love pumpkin pie.
God, do we love pumpkin pie.
Homemade pumpkin pie with a big heaping
dollop.
Dollop of Cool Whip on it.
Yeah, Cool Whip.
And I'm talking about that extra creamy Cool Whip.
Yeah,
man.
He wants it creamy.
Dude. I can literally eat a whole pie by myself.
I could too.
But
I look like I've eaten a whole pie.
We both do.
Yeah. Yeah, when I smell it, man, it's sweet, it's spicy, it's really nice. I would love for every woman I ever come into contact with to be wearing this.
Funny enough, when you go to Fragrantica, and by the way, the trend levels for this are off the charts, by the way. It's like had a steady, just rocket for like a couple years now.
Anytime I see somebody's Tom Ford list, it's on there.
I would imagine it probably is. It's eccentric is what I want to say. I didn't know this but by a couple of days ago because I always scroll so fast through Fragrantica, but they have a section where it's like people can post photos of whatever their bottle, them holding it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like model-esque women posing with this fragrance. It's crazy.
Yeah. This one is so classically unisex that I feel like, and there are a few fragrances out there, maybe BR 540. And this is one that if you buy, guaranteed you and your other half could wear this.
Yeah. I want to say, and if you're single, I really think opposite sex is really going to enjoy this one.
No doubt. Either one.
Yeah.
Guys wearing it, the ladies probably going to love it. Ladies, you wearing it, guys are going to love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, don't take us as the Gospel of John over here. But, or Robbie.
The Gospel of Love.
But, that's just kind of my formulated opinion, what I think about it.
You asked me, Ryan. I was just telling you, I think Sir Christopher Kringle might have worn this a time or two.
Okay.
And he shared it with Mrs. Claus.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay. We should have saved this one for like our Christmas episode.
Yeah, we'll revisit it.
Yeah.
Okay. Skip it.
Sample it.
Buy it.
What are you doing, Ryan?
Me personally, because I'm a weirdo,
This feels like a skip for you. Are you about to say skip?
I want to say skip, but I kind of want to say I want to sample it, but with something extra. I think I want to sample a decently sized decant of it during the fall this year.
Yes.
It's hard for me. I can smell this now, and to me, it registers so fall, and I know how hot it is outside these four walls here.
We're sweating right now.
Yeah. So, like, my mind cannot physically wrap around trying to wear it, but I want to wait till fall, and I kind of want to get maybe like a 10 ml sample decant of this.
It's worth it.
From myfragrancesamples.com.
Yeah.
Because they've been really good with us. And I want to kind of wear it during then to see what I really think about it, because this one has such a strong fall vibe. I really feel like I can't give an honest critique right now if you really want to know the truth. Yeah,
I get that. And look,
you've worn it enough though.
Yes, I've worn it, and it probably started a couple of months ago, so it's still a little on the cooler side. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like winter weather, you know. We never see that.
No.
We were kind of holding on to this episode, and we were going to do it later, but you know, we were super excited to have Robbie email in and kind of talking about it.
Yeah.
And they were mentioning Tobacco Vanille, and we had the intention of doing the episode, and so we just wanted to say thank you for your email, and we wanted to show you some love by doing this episode. The next few episodes you'll see will be a little bit more, and as we kind of go through these hotter months, are more centered around summertime, warm weather type fragrances. We do have a few kind of sprinkled in there just to have fun with, and now whenever we get into some niche stuff, we are gonna obviously hit gourmands and things like that, but for the most part, especially designer, we're going to be hitting more around warm weather type stuff. But hey, you get a cool night in the summer, throw this on and go attract a lover.
Well, if you like today's episode and you want to show us some support, maybe you want to give us some emotional support.
That's right. That's what we need more than anything.
Write us at thecolognepodcast@gmail.com. And if you really want to help us out in another way, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Cologne Podcast. Buy us a coffee. Everything we get there goes back into funding the show, either through samples or hosting of the podcast.
That's right.
Those are two ways. And then a third way.
Yeah.
Which could be the best way.
Could be the best way if you or someone you know loves fragrances, or you're in a community conversation and fragrances come up and people are intrigued and interested.
And you want to show them.
You want to show them that there's a great group of Texans out there loving fragrances too. Be sure to share our podcast with them.
You're like, hey, you want to hear some two idiots talk about something real quick?
I'm always like, you know, the kids can't even listen to the podcast. They were so stoked whenever we first did the first couple ones, you know, and they were like, oh, can we listen? I'm like, there's some like adult words in there you can't hear, you know. There are a few intros I let them listen to, and one of them they get a kick out of is the Bodman episode 4, because we start out going like, hello, you know, being so dumb. They love that one, but we can't share it with our family, so Share it for us, would you?
Well, there you go. That's today's episode number 41.
Yeah.
Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. Thanks to Robbie from Australia. Thank you for your kind words and thank you for listening. We really do appreciate it.
And we appreciate every one of you listening. If you've got an idea for an episode, hit us up, thecolognepodcast@gmail.com. But since we don't have anybody asking for another episode right now, next episode, we're hitting up Luna Rosa Carbon by Prada.
And we are hyped because
I was not ready.
Yeah, did some things.
It's running things. All right, spray it up, y'all.